Alright, welcome back. This is the fifth video in the Editing a Reel from Scratch series. And in this one, we're going to start editing. Now, over here, we already had the footage done. We did some effects, little bit effects. Whatever I'm doing right now is just something I have not planned. So this is just like without any planning. Only planning that we did is what I showed you in this document that we did. I literally have no idea how this is going to be. So let's just see how this turns out. So anyways, let's start with a new timeline. By the way, I think I misspelled timeline over here. Let me just rename this timeline. Okay. And right click, create a new timeline. And this is going to be the main timeline. So you can type something like maybe the main, let's just type in main timeline. And again, unselect project settings, go to format, use vertical resolution, hit create. Now in this one, you can drag this timeline over here like this. And if I play this right now, let me just mute it. This is how it looks. Actually, let's unmute and listen. Oh, okay. So that's why I think I had to unmute it from here as well. Okay. So make sure in the timeline where we have the footage, it is unmute. And now this will play over here.
When you start to study and understand brain development, as I did,
What did we plan? We planned that first of all, there's going to be a footage up till this point. So when he says understand, let me just play this.
when you start to study and understand
Okay, so over here, this is the part where he stops at understand.
brain development,
Okay, so over here at brain development, we're going to add a fusion composition, and this will be as I did. Okay, up till as I did.
I don't care if you're as I did, near brain development, as I did.
Okay, so let me just go back to the footage and I will go over to the effects and just unselect this film damage. Right now, just don't add any effects because this is going to slow things down. So let's play this.
Understand brain development, as I did.
See, now it's running more smoothly. I think we can do these effects later on. Okay. Okay, so one composition over here.
When you start to study and understand brain development, as I did,
Okay, and one other thing is you can add subtitles from the start, the captions from the start, or you can leave that for when you're done with the composition and all of the other editing. But let's just add them. So go over to titles and add a text and just drag this right here and move this right here. So this is going to be the main. We're going to set all the settings that we need for the captions in this one, and then we're just going to copy it. And you can see that the fusion composition, I'm not going to put this over the fusion composition because we're going to add the words within the composition. So that's going to be different. So for the main subtitles, let's go ahead and copy the text from here up till this point. Go back, paste this right here, and let me just hide myself so you can see better. Okay, so for the font family, what font are we going to use? Let's decide that. So I think usually I go with either Futura or Montserrat, but I think I've done so many videos using this font. I should try something else. Uh, Poppins maybe. Oh, okay. So let's use Poppins this time. Let's go with extra gold and decrease the size. So let's go with 50. Uh, let me just See if this looks okay. Let me add some cuts over here.
When you start to
Okay, start to, let's add a cut over here. When you start to, let me remove this and remove this.
when you start to study and understand
Okay, and let me just move this down. So let's go right here. Okay, so over here, if you click on this side and select this right here, you will see that it will help you to position your caption. So you can position this somewhere around here because you can see this mic over here, it is giving a light. So the reflection basically, and it's not looking that good. So I think somewhere around here is okay.
when you start to study and
And I'm going to copy this and paste this right here.
to study and
And let's decrease the font, so 55 maybe.
when you start to study and understand brain development,
Okay. And sometimes it's good to see if this looks good in all caps. So let's check
when
that.
you start to study
Yeah, I think this looks better in the all caps. So let's increase this to 40 maybe.
you know, when you start to study and understand brain development, as I did,
Okay, so let's go over here and the fusion composition. And in the assets, let's import. So let's import the brain in the assets, add in a background, connect this right here. Okay, so how are we going to do this? So let's add in a multi-merge and let's add in our brain maybe, or let's also add some textures. So I'm going to drag in all these textures to test them out as well. So let's try this one, connect this right here. Okay, already looking good. And let me just lower the blend, something like this, maybe 0.2 looks good. Now let's drag in the brain, connect this right here. By the way, I'm not going to animate this texture right now. Let's just add a transform node for the brain. And we were going to add a glow as well. So let me just remove this transform from here and let's add a glow first. Let me check if this works with the glow. Okay, so you can already see that we're getting a cut over here, right here. So it does not look that good. Okay, so let me just remove this, add a background, and connect this right here. And then the background color, let's change this to white. And then I'm going to add this brain once again, connect this right here. But this time, let's add a transform. Or you don't need to actually add a transform. You can just go to multi-merge. But uh, to make it easy for me, I use transform. So let's decrease this to 0.95 maybe, or 98. Yes, 98 looks good. Then let's also add this glow, connect this with the transform. Actually, let me just remove this glow. And for this background, let's add this right here. Okay, this looks good. So 15 and 0.85. I think this looks good. This can show the growth maybe. And what we can do is we can add a mask, and well, this mask is supposed to be for the image. So, okay, this works. You can just connect it with the background image, change the width and the height like this, and you will see that this will show the growth. Okay, we can do it either this way or either this way, or both ways maybe. So let's do that. So let me display this.
Brain development.
Brain development up till here. Let's move the animation in right here at maybe 25. So let's go over to rectangle, create keyframes at width and height. Let's go over to 0, change these to 0. So let's see this. Okay, so I think it's not looking good with both of these. So let's remove the height. Let's just use the width. And the height is supposed to be at 1. Perfect. And you can go over to spline in the width. You can just select the keyframes, hit S on the keyboard. Perfect. And let's go ahead and also add a text. So let me just connect this.
Brain development.
Brain development. Okay, let's type in brain development. Brain. We were using Poppins. Let's go with black this time. Move this up. Change the size to, let's say, 0.3. Add in another text. Copy this text and paste it right here. Connect this with the multi-merge. Move this down. Type in development. Change the size and the font. So let's type in regular, and this will be at 0.15, something like this. Right. And we can also do masking for this. So let's do masking for both of these. Let me just change the height and the width. So for the first one, let's go over at 15 and create a keyframe at center, go back to 0. Okay, wait. Let's move the text. Let's move the text. So let me just set this right here and also change the soft edge to 0.2. Move this right here, go over to layout, create a keyframe at center, and at 0, let's move this in right here. And let's change the soft edge to 0.1 and then move this slightly upwards like this. So you can see it appears from the brain, you can say within the brain. Looks okay. And now regarding the development, let's increase the width and let's move this right here. And then this will be at 30. So let's go over to layout and then go over at 10 and then move this. Yeah, let's go over at 10 and move this up. So let's play this. I'm having a problem with this appearing from within the brain. Yeah, I think this looks better now. Yeah, so behind the brain is okay, not from within the brain. So let's go over to the soft edge now. and increase this. What if we go with 0.2? No, I think this is good. And with the brain, I think brain is okay coming from within the brain. So this looks good. This looks good. So let's just add in a transform node now. Create a keyframe at 0 at size, then go over at 42, change this to 1.1 is good. 1.1. Let's change this to 1.1 and let's play this.
Brain development, as I did. I don't.
Okay, looks good.
When you start to study and understand brain development, as I did, I don't care.
Okay, looks good. So let's see what else we had. I don't care. Okay, so there will be graphics over here. So we will add graphics up till the creator point.
I don't care if you're an atheist, agnostic, or believer in creator. You have to step back.
Okay, so you have to step back from this side. The footage will come back in. So let's go back to the effects, add in another fusion composition up till this point.
And brain development, as I did. I don't care if you're.
Well, we could have used the same one. We could have, but just to not make things complicated, I'm just going to use another one. And in this one, let's try some 3D text. Okay, so merge and then render. Connect this with the media out. Let's add in some text. So let's type in big lever. I want to change this to you can say uppercase. So you can select right click over here and then select expression, then use string dot upper, and then the fonts we were using were opens. So let's use that and go with like bold maybe. Go to transform, see where this fits in the z axis. Okay, so this is going to be right here. Again, we're going to add in a text, copy the same settings, paste them here, connect this with the merge. But this time, let's move this a little bit in. Okay, I think we should go back to the first text and move this even outwards. Right here, and then this one right here. But this time, let's type in this, and let's add in another 3D text. Copy the same settings from here, paste them here, go to the transform, move this right here, but this time let's type in this text and let's paste this right here. So what we're going to do now is use a transform node, which will be transform 3D, and we're going to move this. So here you can see what I did. Okay, we could have gone from left to right, right to left, but I'm just trying 3D now. So let's see how this works. So over here, let's also position this. So let me just position this maybe a little bit upwards or below maybe. Then this one, let's also move this a little bit down. Okay, so let's use the transform again to see how this looks. I think there needs to be more gap between them. So Let me go here, move this even outwards. Go here, move this even outwards. So right here, let me just move this out, completely out. And then this one, let's move this in right here. Okay, perfect.
I don't care if you're an atheist, agnostic.
I'm going to use the same settings we had for this composition. So let me just drag in another composition and right click, open in Fusion page. From here, I'm just going to copy these two and this multi-merge. Let me just copy this, go over to this composition and paste them right here. Connect this right here. And we will just get our background basically. That's what I wanted. So up till here, we're going to create a keyframe. So at 60 maybe, let's go to transform, create a keyframe at Z.
If you're an atheist, agnostic,
Somewhere around here, we're going to move. So let's go to 40, move this out right here.
I don't care if you're an
And then this part right here. At 20, let's move this out as well. Okay, so if you play this now,
I don't care if you're an atheist, agnostic, or believer.
okay. So
I don't care if you're an
let's do something. Let's go over to this text right here. Go over at 20, click on shading, opacity, opacity at 15 as well, 20, let's change this to 0.
I did. I don't care if you're an atheist, agnostic, or believer.
Oh, okay. So I think we just need to change this to 1 and that to 0.
As I did. I don't care if you're an atheist, agnostic, or believer.
And let's also keep the movement going. So maybe at 0, we can be like at 0. Let's see. Okay.
I did. I don't care if you're an atheist, agnostic, or believer in creator. You have to be a creator.
Oh, okay. So I think we had to be here. Let me just move this. So I'm going to do something here. Actually, I'm going to remove this for now and just move this all the way here. So up till this point, up till here at 40, we're going to go over to transform, create a keyframe at center and also at angle. And let's go over at maybe 60. Yep. So let's go over at 60 and this one and just move this out of the screen by like going maybe 45 and then just or maybe 15 and then just moving this out of the screen, something like this. And you can see that we do have our background gone now,
I don't care if you
but what we can do is we can move both of these up and let me just press Alt on the keyboard and create a copy. Go over to this one, open in Fusion page, remove this transform, remove everything else, just keep the background. Go over to this one, open in Fusion page. Okay, so for this, go to background and change the alpha to 0 and then just remove this texture. And if you play this now,
brain development, as I did. I don't care if you're an atheist, agnostic, or believer.
Perfect. And just one more thing is go to transform, and in the spline, let's just select the transform node and ease them in. And let me just remove this. Go over to this composition, and in the transform, I'm going to keep moving them. Let's move this. So add maybe -15.
Agnostic or believer in creation.
And one other thing you can do is once you have your render 3D done, just press Control Space, search for glow, and let's change this to maybe 80 or 70. And one other thing we can do is go to this one and also add a glow after the multi-merge with the same settings. Okay, so not the same settings. Let's go with 50 and 0.5 maybe. Yeah, so this looks much better now. Now we're going to continue with the captions. So over here, you can see we have the footage up till this point, and let's go ahead, copy this text that we did,
You have to step back and just go.
step that,
Back and just go. And just
and just go till
and
here.
just go. Wow.
And I'm going to add a cut over here.
Uh,
Sometimes the person is talking too fast, and it's not that easy to know where to add it. You can say the subtitle, where to stop it, add the second one. So many sentences because this won't fit uh, in the area that we just defined. So let's go ahead and
I'll just go on record. I'm very comfortable saying I believe in God.
okay, I'm going to just test this. Let's test this. And let's copy this text from here, paste this right here, and let me increase the size.
You have to step back and just.
Okay, so we can add some background to this as well. No, not the background, the stroke, sorry. So we can add stroke, maybe something like this. I'm just testing this out, so bear with me. Uh, okay, so something like this, maybe. Looks good at 3. I think black was okay. Yeah,
To step
something
back.
like this. Yeah, I think this is okay. So that once the, you can say white parts, or you can say video gets white in the background, it's good to have this. And let me just do this for these ones as well. So let's copy the color, go over here, paste this here, 3, same thing, outside only, outside only. Okay. It's good to do this at the very beginning. I know this is a mistake I made kind of, but you can see that this will take time if you change it, let's say, or add some adjustments to it
Have to step back and just go.
and just go. Okay, so let's copy this. Just go.
back and just go, wow.
Okay, I'm going to do the same thing for this one as well. I don't know, but it seems like this is already the same color. The color has been the same, so I don't think we need to change it. Let's just change the stroke and just
Just
go.
go, wow.
Wow.
Go, wow. I'll just go on record. I'm very comfortable saying it.
This point,
I'll just go on record. I'm very comfortable saying
copy this. Okay, let me just change the font size 40. Okay, let's go even lower than this. 35 maybe.
wow. I'll just go on record. I'm very comfortable saying it. I believe in God. I do. Saying it. I believe in God. I do. I think that
Okay, I think so far so good. Let's play this. See if we made any mistakes.
you have to step back and just go, wow. I'll just go on record. I'm very comfortable saying it. I believe in God. I do.
Okay, so the next part is, I think, up till explain. This is where the graphics can come in, and then we have footage. Okay,
There are many things that science can explain. There are certain things science can't explain, but explain.
till here, I'm going to add a fusion composition. And then we have, okay, perfect. So let's plan this. What did we had over here? Okay, so science can explain and can't explain. Okay, we're going to add these elements that we downloaded. And then, oh, I forgot to add the cross, but maybe we can try something different. So let's go over here. Let's add a background. Okay, so science stuff, let's drag this in, drag this in, because I think we need to test out these things, and that's what I usually do. So science, let's add the beaker, let's add the atoms. Okay, maybe not this one right now, but this one, atomic structure. Okay, and one good thing about multi-merge is that you can position them. So let's add in atoms 2, atoms 1. Okay, let's remove this for now. I think I can use them as the background. Yeah, I think we can use them as the background. Also, let's try in DNA. Okay, not the mask. Okay, okay, this can also work. I think let's put this in the background. So let's put this in the background. Change the angle maybe, something like this. Then let's go to the second one. Reduce the size maybe. Let's put this somewhere around here. First one, let's also decrease the size. This somewhere around here. By the way, can we put this in the beaker? No, we cannot. But we can actually, we can if we move this up. Yep. but I don't think that makes any sense. So, anyways. Okay, now for the atoms. Let's move these atoms in and also connect a background with them. So, like this. And let me just go with some different color. Something like this, maybe. And I don't think we need to use this now. We can just use this one as the background. Move this all the way in the back. Just increase the size maybe. And let's reduce this as much as we can. Let's see how we can use textures in this one. So maybe let's try this. Okay, this looks nice. Okay, wait a minute. I think we're using the wrong one. Media in 5 is the one. Yep. So you can see we are getting a good texture now, but let's try something different. Lighten or soft light maybe. Overlay. Something like overlay works good. Let's add in another one. Let's add in another one. See how this looks. Move this in the right here maybe. Okay, and let's try something different. Okay, this seems interesting. Perfect. So what we can do now is the one that was okay, so this one is background. We can use angle to move this, right? Yep. So let's do that. What you can do is just right click and or let's just create the three keyframes manually this time. So let's create one at angle, go all the way to the end, and let's change this to 360. So let's play this
I
now.
think there are many things that science can explain. There's
Or let's go with 180. So 180 right here.
I think there are many things that
Okay, maybe not 180. Let's just keep this at 90.
I think there are many things that science can explain. There are certain things science can't explain. I think there are many things that science can explain.
Let's. What about this DNA structure? Let me see where this is. I think this is the third one, maybe. Yep, it's the third one. Let's add a transform, and no, actually, let's add a mask for this and increase the width and the height. So what we can do here is to go over at 30 and change the height. Actually, no, let's move the center. And also let's change the soft edge. So let's go over to 0 and then just move this right here.
I think there are many things that science can explain.
And we can also go over to spline, ease them in.
I think there are many things that I think there are many things that science can.
We can move the other things in as well. So this media in 2. Let me change the blend for this. We can do the same thing on the angle for this, 180 maybe.
I think there are many things that science can explain.
Let's move in the beaker as well. Okay, so this is the beaker, media in 1. Let's, so at 40, I will just move this beaker in from, let's say, 20, then go over here. So the media in 1. Let me just unselect the second one, ease them in at the first one, and just move these right here.
There are
Display
many
this.
things that science can explain. There are certain things science
Can't explain. Okay. So over here,
many things that
and I will also add a transform node right here.
I think there are many things that science can explain.
Uh, okay, so at 30, I'm going to create a keyframe at 30 at size, and then at 40, I'm going to move this like 1.2.
Many things that science can explain.
Let's add a text. I will just use a text to show the cross that we planned. So X over here. Let's change this to black. Maybe increase the size. Uh, maybe like X over here, maybe. Can't explain. Okay, so at 100, maybe this is coming in. So opacity at 1 and then at maybe 90. Let's change this to 0.
Science can't explain. I think there are many things that science can explain. There are certain things science can't explain.
Okay, so at can't explain, like at 80, let's go over to transform and center and size. Then at 95, let's increase this 1.6 and then just move this right here. So let's see how this looks.
Comfortable saying it. I believe in God. I do. I think there are many things that science can explain. There are certain things science can't explain. But I'll even go a step further, which is that all
Now we're going to add some more captions. Okay, so I think so far so good. Almost done, but uh, we're going to add a graphic now. So let's add this in until this point. So, absolute. Okay, let's do the Einstein part. So let's go over to Fusion Composition now. And over here, let's drag in this texture, add a background, connect it with the media out, connect this with texture with the background, add merge one. You can see it gets the job done. It's that simple. You have this background with the texture. Okay, this looks good. So I'll just add in this one now. And now for the Einstein part, let's drag in Einstein and call also the scientist maybe. Okay, not the scientist now, but just do only these two. I'll just drag them in, this and this guy. And let's add in a multi-merge, connect them. So first of all, let me just position Einstein somewhere like this, maybe somewhere around here. And then this guy can come in at maybe around here. but we're leaving a lot of space over here. So let's increase Einstein a little bit more, move this up, and then Young, let's also increase this right here. Okay, I think we got pretty good images for this because both are in the black and white effect. So I think that this is good. Now we can just do like simple animation for this, I think. Maybe at 30. So I'm going to use this multi-merge layers to animate this. So let's go with size, change this, move this right here. So Carl Jung over here. So Carl Jung can come in right here at 60, then at 40, I'm just going to move him out. Something like this. And then over here, let's go with media in 3, displacement. Check these and just slightly move this.
Just to say this, I mean, Einstein believed in God. Carl Jung, one of the greatest psychologists ever, clearly believed in
Okay, and let's also add a transform node to make it more dynamic. So over here at 0, I'm going to create keyframes at angle, size. And let's go all the way to the end. Increase the size at 1.2 and or 1.1 and change the angle. Okay, no, I think we have to go with 1.2 and then angle at 5 maybe. So let's play this.
say this. I mean, Einstein believed in God. Carl Jung, one of the greatest psychologists ever, clearly believed in God. I'm in absolute awe.
Perfect. So now we can continue with the captions. It's given me these. Okay, so we can just add its fusion composition right here.
Peace.
So I'm going to move this right here. And in the first video, or maybe the second video, we did discuss that it is not very clear what he's saying over here. So I'm just going to use the fusion composition to hide that. So get the job done first, basically. We will just have an image right here. Um, okay, so I forgot that I had these two assets as well. So I just imported them. And let me just put them right here. Let's use the peaceful image for now. I'm going to use the background, connect this with the media in, and we're good to go. So let's increase the size, maybe like this, not too much, somewhere around here. And now we can add like a camera shake. So let's use this camera shake.
Given me
And if you play
peace.
this right
And, you
now,
know,
this is like too much shake. So you can just move this to 0.5, 0.5
it's given me peace.
B. So we can just use a text and we can use bobbins again. This time, let's go with italic and see how this looks. Let's increase the size a little bit. All right, and I'm also going to add some effects. So let's add in this magenta, increase the size maybe, something like this. Okay, let's continue. So next we have is a graphic. Love the idea, and we had a. Okay, so this was the plan for this. Okay, control everything. So after here, we are going to add a fusion composition. Let's go over to fusion composition, and I will just add in this periodic table. I don't know. Okay, wait a minute. Let me just use this and then add this image plane and let's go 3D. So let's add this merge, connect it right here, with a render, connect this right here. So for this one, I want to use this as the background. Let me just make a copy, go over here, and I'm going to remove this and just add a background, like these and like this. And let's cover the whole screen, maybe 0.2 blend, and this can work as the background. Now in this one, I'm going to remove this. Also this, and let's add in a text. So 3D text like we did before. Okay, so let's search for something related to idea. Okay, so I went ahead and downloaded this bulb. Let me just import this right here, add this to the composition. And this is how we can represent the idea now. First of all, add this image plane because now we're working with 3D, so we need to connect it like this. And over here, we also can add a glow. So let me just change the color scale to yellow like this. So from here, I'm going to move this in. Let me make some transform right here, add them in. And then the one over here, let's move this out of the screen. Okay, so let's go over to spline now and ease this in, add some text. Let's copy it. Let's uppercase this and go with opens. Go over to transform and move this like this. Okay, let me just copy this and I'm going to remove this expression and paste this down because I need to move this like this. And also H anchor, transform, let's move this right here, this down, over here, right on, till absolutely, create a keyframe, then up till this point. Let's move this all the way in. And then at 0, let's move this up.
I absolutely love that the idea, but
A,
absolutely love that the idea.
let's move this upwards. Sorry, this text upwards. Sixty to 70. So let's move this up. Actually, let's move this out of the screen. And let's go over to image plane and then move this up as well. Like this.
I absolutely love that the idea, but also for me is really a deep belief with the idea, but also for me.
So here we can add a transform node. So let's add a transform node.
But also for
Okay, so at 80, let's create keyframes. and up till, let's say, 90. Let's move this up right here, and let's add a text now. This will be the deep belief. Yes. So let's copy this, and now we can do the string article opens, and then let's change this right here.
That the idea, but also for me is really a deep, for me is really
Okay, so at 90, I'm going to create Y, keyframe at Y,
a deep belief.
and then at 105, let's move this in, another keyframe, and then at this one, let's move this down. If that's blind, we can just select Y offset, and for here we can add transform, and then over here let's create keyframe at size and center, and at 20 let's move this really downwards, and then up like somewhere around here, 0.5. uh, ease them in.
I absolutely love that the idea, but also for me is really a deep belief, which is that we can't control.
We can control everything, so we can add this as a text now. It's
A deep belief, which is that we can't, which is that we,
okay, so over here I'm going to change this to 0.
love that the idea, but also for me is really a deep belief, which is that we can't control everything. We're not in.
And then in this one, let's add a transform node, and just scale this up a little bit. So let's see how this looks.
I absolutely love that the idea, but also for me is really a deep belief, which is that we can't control everything. We're not in as much control.
Okay, so we're done. Okay, so one thing we missed was that we also had to include this person and silhouette. So let's go back to our Fusion prompt right here, and let's go back to this person. By the way, now we can just add in a multi-merge. So let me just remove this, connect this right here, and then also this as well. And for this, I'll also add this background, connect them, and this can be like white or gray maybe. And now we can just position them. So right here maybe. And let's just move this up. So I'll just make him appear right here. Let's move him down. Go to line, and in the multi-merge, let's ease
Can't
this in.
control everything.
Perfect. So let's play this.
Probably people are going to be like, what are you talking about? It works. It works. I absolutely love that the idea, but also for me is really a deep belief, which is that we can't control everything. We're not in as much control as we.
Okay, so one more thing I want to do with this is to add magenta throughout the video. Okay, maybe not this, but let's type in radial blur. Let's check this one. So somewhere around here, I think. Yeah, this looks better now. And I'm going to also change the color for this person as well, a little bit darker.
It works. It works. I absolutely love that the idea, but also for me is really a deep belief, which is that we can't control everything.
And in this one, let's also add a zone blur, something like this. Right, perfect. So we're done with this. Let's just see how this all looks at the end. So by the way, all the textures that we gathered, all of them almost we used. The only ones I think we didn't use was the scientist and the prayer one. So I won't include that in the link, but the other ones you can download. So let's just play this now.
When you start to study and understand brain development, as I did, I don't care if you're an atheist, agnostic, or believer in creator, you have to step back and just go, wow. I'll just go on record. I'm very comfortable saying it. I believe in God. I do. I think there are many things that science can explain. There are certain things science can't explain, but I'll even go a step further, which is that all the elements of science are entirely compatible with the idea of there being a God. And I'm not the first scientist to say this. I mean, Einstein believed in God. Carl Jung, one of the greatest psychologists ever, clearly believed in God. I'm in absolute awe of biology. Secretly, I've always prayed. It's given me so much. It's given me peace. And, you know, this is going to sound weird, and probably people are going to be like, what are you talking about? It works. It works. I absolutely love that the idea, but also for me is really a deep belief, which is that we can't control everything. We're not in as much control as we think we are. I really see myself as serving higher power.
So over here, it has to be like plus higher power. And we can just increase this. And then over here, there was some problem with this light bulb, as you can see. So for this, let's go back over here to glow, change this a little bit, change the change this to let's say 70. So now this will look much cleaner. And then over here, there was a problem that
This is going to sound,
I think we should move this right here.
and you know, this is going to sound weird. And you know,
I think we've already covered the Uno. So let's just decrease this. Let's say 30 maybe. We're done with the editing part of the video. So you can see that planning everything ahead, gathering assets ahead before you start editing it makes the process more easier and you don't waste time. So you can see that we're almost done now, and I'll see you in the next video where we're going to just apply some final touches. So take care. See you in the next video.